Begin a look at the papers this Children's Day with the New Telegraph, which leads with FG sues governors, seeks full autonomy for LGs. Stories on page 2. Wants apex courts to stop them from unilateral, arbitrary, and lawful dissolution of democratically elected LG leaders. The details, of course, you'll find on page 2 of the New Telegraph this morning. Another big news is the emirate tussle. That's how the Daily Trust leads this morning. Protesters hit Kano streets, demand Bayero's return, and the riders, commissioners, LG chairs on solidarity visit to Sunusi. Don't destabilize Kano, opposition lawmakers tell FG. I've accepted my fate, dethroned Emir of Gaya. We've uncovered plots to attack State Assembly, others. That's according to the police. Find the details of that story on page 3, to be precise. And at the bottom of the page, FG sues 36 governors, seeks full autonomy for LGs, asks Supreme Court to halt transfer of local government funds to states, wants end to appointment of unelected council chairs, Governors Forum silent. Find the details of that story on the inside pages. Of course, the Nigerian Tribune leads to that same story. FG takes governors to Supreme Court, seeks autonomy for LGs, alleges misconduct in LG affairs. That story is on page 23. The front page of the Nigerian Observer has this one. Performance mixed as Tinubu marks 1 year in office, yet prospects abound, say experts. That's the lead of the Nigerian Observer this morning. The Abuja Inquirer leads with 1 year anniversary. Tinubu begins projects commissioning in Abuja. Expectations high as Abuja Metro Line commences. Heightened security, that's the second rider. But look at the Nigerian News Direct. First year anniversary. It's my bragging day, Tinubu boasts. Flags off 700-kilometer Lagos-Calabar coastal highway. Says Apapa Woronshoki Ojota Expressway will spur economic development. Orders completion of Abuja-Kano Road within 1 year. From 7 hours to 1 hour 15 minutes, federal government road intervention saves time, boosts economy. Lagos Deputy Governor Hamzat. That story, of course, you'll find on the inside pages of the paper this morning. The Daily Independent focuses on Tinubu 1 year in office, airline industry nosedives, passenger traffic drops amid high fares. Experts say Jet A1 price increased from 790 naira to 1,500 naira per litre. Ask FG to reverse policies hurting growth of aviation sector. That story continues on the inside pages. Banks recapitalization not enough to achieve $1 trillion GDP target. That's according to experts. Find the details of that on the inside pages. The Daily Times. Tinubu knocks FG's policies, says too necessary but wrongly implemented. And the riders, government yet to find right way to handle economy, proposes 25-year development agenda. That story is on page 2. Right under the picture is AGF drags 36 governors to Supreme Court, alleging misconduct over local government autonomy. Find the details of that one on the front page of the Daily Times newspaper, continues on the inside pages. Right there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper is this one. Firms, Gencos in fresh crisis over eligible customer policy review. Details on page 6 of the paper today. The leadership leads with LG autonomy. FG drags 36 governors to Supreme Court. Berates joint accounts, seeks direct payments to local government accounts. That story is on the inside pages. And right beside the nameplate, look at it. Emirship tussle, uneasy calm in Kano. Adubayero's sympathizers protest. Sanusi holds maiden Palace Council meeting. That story is on page 6 of this Nigeria newspaper this morning. If you look at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, how Nigeria can earn more Forex, stabilize naira. That's according to experts. Look at what the writers say. Bold pro-business reforms will enhance dollar supply, according to Nasima. Leverage national assets to attract dollar inflows. That's according to Teriba. Nigeria must earn dollars, have transparent FX market, according to Rewani. BDCs urge collaboration, fairness from CBN. Forex reforms producing results, according to Cardoso. Naira in mixed performance amidst 42% increase in dollars traded. The details of that you'll find on page 30 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And that's the much of the papers we are taking this morning. Which is your own special take?
Well, which is my special take? Of course, I'm very, very much interested in what the papers lead with, when we particularly concerning the local government administrations and the issue that the federal government is raising. Of course, something to give attention to some other time. But if you look at the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, that is what the paper leads with, and it is interesting that the federal government is doing that now, and. So the question that I'm going to be asking, that I would love to find out is, so where do we go from there? So when the Nigerian Tribune says FG takes governors to Supreme Court, seeks autonomy for LGs, alleges misconduct in local government affairs, efforts have been made over time by various authorities at various levels. And I'm wondering exactly what is going to come out of this one, any headway that's going to come from it. I remember, I think as far back as 2010, there were advocacy initiatives taken by several civil society organizations to try to get houses of assembly all over the nation to pass the local government autonomy bills into law so that the National Assembly can make, so that it can be something significant. LGs have direct access to their funds. And that advocacy has continued over the years. Even the last assembly also went out looking for a way to ensure that we persuade the houses of assembly to pass financial and administrative autonomy laws, bills, propositions into law, so that the Constitution can include it as something that is substantive. What we have now, I'm not even sure, Mark, whether we understand the implications of the local government administrations not being as autonomous as they ought to be. Let's just wait. I think we spoke about this earlier. Let's just wait until what exactly the Supreme Court is going to say, or say different, or affirm, because some people believe that the Supreme Court already ruled on that matter. But that's my major take this morning, Malkwe.
Well, quite a number of things to ponder on, Ayo. When you look at the fact that this president, while he was governor of Lagos, had a big fight with the federal government over what should be happening at the local governments. Remember the creation of the LCDAs in Lagos, which you still have? I think they were supposed to be local government at that time.
Yes.
But then there was a ruling because they were not recognized in the Constitution. And as a result, they had to now, water them down to LCDAs. And that's what we currently have in Lagos. It's still the situation. So sometimes I think we've had a situation whereby governors have tried to maintain control to say, look, the local government, yes, they're third tier, but they're under the discretion of states, and that the federal government should not have any say. But it does appear that there is now a reversal, because the Attorney General certainly feels very different about this with the suit that he has now instituted against the Attorneys General of the 36 states of the Federation. It'll be interesting to see how eventually, where the pendulum swings on the 30th of this month. It's not so far again. I think Thursday is the 30th. It will be, I think, a remarkable day, because if the Supreme Court should rule in favor of Nigeria's Attorney General, then we should be seeing, funds being paid directly to local governments, to democratically elected local government chairmen, because part of what the suit is seeking is for state governors to stop embarking on unilateral, arbitrary, and unlawful dissolution of democratically elected local government leaders, and to stop putting caretaker committees in their place. It'll be very interesting to see which way the Supreme Court rules, because according to the Attorney General, the federal government and the state government, or the governors, have been in contravention of the Constitution, which they promised to uphold, or which they swore to uphold when they took the oath of office. And I think his suit is trying to correct that. We'll eventually see which way the pendulum swings. It's also very interesting to note on the front page of the Abuja Inquirer, this story: Banex traders count losses as army maintains siege. So that story is still there. Ignores reps' call to reopen plaza. It's been a few days now, going into weeks since that assault on military officers at the Banex Plaza. I still kind of wrap my head around the fact that these men were wearing uniform. They're wearing uniform. So you cannot say you didn't know. But then there are those who will say, look, the army is now resorting to self-help. But at the same time, you know, there are quite big questions as to what regard we still hold for the military uniform. This is totally unacceptable, right? And I think that there needs to be a middle ground. The military now says, look, the army specifically says, look, if you give up the people who perpetrated that particular act, and in no time the plaza will be open. But the reps have tried to intervene. Would there be another intervention by a higher authority? It's yet to see, but that story is right there on the front page of the Abuja inquiry. It's on top of the nameplate, on top of it, so just in case you missed it there. We'll leave it there for our paper review this morning. Ayo.
Well, I guess with that, we can take a short break now. When we return, it's time to get into the nitty-gritty. For the ones, let's begin with the children, shall we? After this break.